us. We enjoyed the game, enjoyed the contest up front. They were always going to come at us through their scrum. So we wanted to take them on and felt like probably we got a little bit of an edge there. And, we were able to score enough points to win comfortably.
A word, if we can, maybe on Jack Willis. I know it was very much a team win, but to score on your debut, and I certainly thought play well generally. What did you make of his contribution?
Yeah, no, it was a good sound performance. We've got a number of good young players coming through at the moment. That's 6 new caps we've had in the first 2 games since we started playing again. So there's a good group of young players coming through. They're just pushing everyone ahead of them, and all the players know they've got to keep working, got to keep progressing if they want to stay in the squad.
Oh, and you obviously know Jamie George incredibly well through Saracens, England and the Lions. How is he after his hat-trick, and what have you boys made of it?
Yeah, well, I didn't know until the end. Obviously, it's about off the back of the forwards working hard, so he'll take that as a forward pack hat-trick, I think.
And just finally from me, Eddie, moving forward, obviously a very different test to come in a week against Ireland, and Jack and various other players maybe sticking their hands up to feature. It should be quite an interesting week, I would have thought.
Well, it's always an interesting week. We've got a great squad of 30-odd players that are all competing for spots. We realise the Ireland game is going to be the most important game of the year. So we'll have a good preparation. And Ireland will be cock-a-hoop after their big win against Wales. So they'll come with plenty of confidence and swagger.
Obviously, Georgia, obviously a very physical team, very, very tough up front, and it was a tough game for us. It took a long time to break Georgia down, and there was a lot of set piece. There was a lot of forward battles that took place, and obviously that's a massive strength for us. So they'll be tough going forward.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just think they're, having watched them play over the last 5 or 6 years, they're slowly developing their game. They've got a number of good young players coming through, who've been involved in their successful under-20 side. I think you're starting to see the side keep its trademarks of strong scrum and strong driving more, but they're producing backs who've got a better feel for the game. So I think there's a really positive future for the Georgian team. We played Georgia today, which produced a challenge in the set piece. And I thought our set piece cohesion was absolutely outstanding. We probably would have liked to have been a bit sharper in terms of execution with the ball we won, but the conditions were difficult, and it's something that we can keep working on and improving. Want to win the forward battle, but we especially want to win it against Georgia. Look, we all the guys remember the session against Georgia in Oxford. It was one of those things that when you sit down and talk about scrummaging, Georgia comes to mind, and even the backs got involved in that session. They were running from about 40 metres away to have a bit of a go. So we wanted to make a point today that we weren't going to be stood over, and we did that, and really pleased with the efforts, particularly of the starting front row. Genge, Jamie and Will, and then Mako and Dunny and Sinks came on and did a great job at the end of the game. So, we were pretty comprehensive in that area.
And we saw a lot of kicking from England again today, a tactic that's working. But what do you say to those people who say it's not the most entertaining rugby?
Well, everyone's got their own opinion, mate, and they're quite entitled to have their own opinion.
And just finally from me, how's Jonathan Joseph?
He's got a bit of a spasm in his back. He landed on his lower back, but we don't think it's going to be too serious at this stage.
You think he'll be all right for next week?
Well, we're hopeful. Cautiously optimistic, I think, is probably the right term.
Thank you.
James, we'll come to you for the last one for the live, please. Thank you.
Eddie Owen, well done. 2 experiments today, JJ and Maro. How do you think they went?
Well, again, we've got to look at it in the context of the game. This is quite an unusual game. We had 18 scrums and I think 12 mauling contests. So that's 30 contests where you've got 8 against 8, which is unusual in Test match rugby. It's probably nearly 250% more than you normally get, and in that sort of game, it worked really well. But the game against Ireland's not going to be like that, so we need to rethink how we select the team.